Oh! Oh. Let's tweet out the link here. Opening day, baby. Opening day. What's going on, YouTube? How we doing? How we doing today? April 1st. Beautiful day. Beautiful day.
2 minutes until showtime.
My co-host on here again. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's almost like we have a live show every week. I don't know. Eli's supposed to be getting us Dutch Bros. Brandon's, I don't know where Brandon is. Matthew has class, yeah, but still. AFC's Tyler Lockett, Final Four, baseball. Hey, you made it. I was getting a little worried. Long line. There was still I heard order. There was 2 people that still had to actually get their drink alive. And then this guy comes out of the employee back door. And he's like, "Dude, you get 2 Midnight Rebels?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Dude, I'll just hand them to you right now." And I was like, "Fuck yeah." And he's like, "Dude, have a good one." Dude. It was so funny though. He just comes out and he's like, "Dude, did you order the 2 Midnight Rebels?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Awesome." So he came out he was just he just been carrying 2 Midnight Rebels the whole day. And he's like, "Dude, wait, did you order these?" It's funny. One of those days. So every day. Yeah. Look at him.
The festivities with you. 4, 3,
I get my exposures.
1.
All right, Game Job Podcast, April 1st, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. We're live every Thursday. How we doing, boys?
Doing good.
Pretty good.
Doing good.
The weather is fantastic here today. That's about all I got. The weather is fantastic. It's very warm. We're talking AFC East today. We're talking, I don't know. I figured we'd talk a little bit Tyler Lockett stuff, baseball maybe, Final Four. I don't know. We'll go. We'll just do our thing, right? Yeah. Okay. Should we get into it?
Let's get it.
AFC East. Start with the New York Jets. They finished last in the division. What was their record? 2-14?
Yep. Worst team in football.
Worst team in football.
Oh, second one.
Second worst. Yep. That makes sense because they were the second pick.
Yeah.
Fire head coach Adam Gase. Bring in
Clap it up.
Yeah,
Yes, finally.
Robert Saleh gets a head coaching job. Good for him. Brandon, you guys lose your defensive coordinator.
Yeah, true. I guess I didn't want.
I was a little bit confused when you started clapping. Right
That's true. I mean, it did end up us losing our DC, but I didn't like Adam Gase. I'm glad for Saul. I'm glad Saul gets a chance
Yes.
to do his thing now.
It's about time.
It is about time. Can't believe we had him after last year.
They also bring in, was Mike LaFleur your
He was our run game coordinator.
run game coordinator?
Yeah.
Which is a much bigger position on the 49ers than it is on a lot of other teams.
That's very
He was
true.
run or pass. It was one of the two. I can't remember. But
I would hope
he was
run.
one of them. I think he's.
I would hope
I
run.
think he's.
Yeah.
I did.
Mike LaFleur is the new offense coordinator in New York.
Yeah.
So the new coaches in New York. This is good. It's going to be a very interesting year for this team. I don't know. I don't see them making a ton of progress
I don't see them being a playoff team or anything.
See what they do.
Yeah. Sign two big signings were Corey Davis, 3 years, $37.5 million. They gave him what they think he's going to be worth. They didn't give him what he is. Like I don't know. He's got potential, and they paid him. Paid him like that.
And they needed one. They needed
Yeah.
a premier wide receiver, so they were going to go out and spend the money on that for sure. Because I think we've been talking about it. I mean, Rashad Perryman,
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder, like it's just not going to get done.
No.
Like
No.
they had to get whoever. Hopefully, they're drafting a QB, and if they are, they need to get him weapons, which they did. So
Then they also signed Carl Lawson to 3 years, $45 million. I did not realize how much money they give Carl Lawson. He's only 26 years old from the Bengals. Then the stat that jumped out, he was 32nd in quarterback hits, which was second in the NFL last year. So they had not a big name pass rusher, but a pretty effective pass rusher.
one name to just throw out there for them is Chris Herndon. He's the tight end. If you weren't in fantasy, you probably didn't know who he is, but he's the tight end for the Jets. He was last year, but with this new offense coming in, and it's going to be very similar to what the Niners do on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Herndon could have a breakout year this year because he's going to be featured with the play action, the rollout game, and he's just a guy that I thought they were going to go sign a tight end because I didn't know if they believed in him, but I think that he is their tight end one right now. So that's a name to throw out there for the Jets.
For sure. And then, as we mentioned earlier, the Jets do have the second overall pick this year. It is increasingly by the day seeming more and more like it is locked in Zach Wilson. Regardless on our thoughts of Zach Wilson, you feel like they have to trade Darnold now, right? You think that's the next step.
And that was the rumor today, was that Sam Darnold, they weren't getting the value as
So-
they hoped.
Okay, so I have an interesting thing right here. According to there was 4 anonymous GMs that said what they would give up for Darnold.
Mm.
Did you hear about this?
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. So it's becoming increasingly likely that they keep both, which I don't agree with. But keep up.
It's the 4 GMs said one of them said they give up, or two said they give up 3rd round picks. One said a late 3rd, and one said a conditional 4th round pick.
Jeez.
So the value for Darnold is an all-time low. If you're a team that needs a quarterback, I'm specifically talking about Carolina and Denver. Teams that are in the 8 and 9 spot in the draft, they would have to give up a lot to move up and get the 4th quarterback in this draft. What's a 3rd rounder to get Sam Darnold? I don't know. Is that so crazy? Like I don't understand what, like, especially the Panthers or Broncos too. Why is a 3rd rounder too much to pay for Sam Darnold?
I wonder if even though he had 1 more year in his 1 or 2 more years on his rookie deal, that's still his cap is still like $10 million. But if you wait for that to run out, chances are you can sign him on like a cheaper 1-year flyer, like even cheaper than his deal. Which in NFL terms, like $10 million down to like $5 million isn't like a ton, but like yeah, I also think just the Jets probably are like, hey, we've got this young quarterback on a rookie deal, whatever. We want more than a 3rd, but truth is he hasn't really proven.
Yeah.
No one, the Jets and Sam Darnold, neither of those two have proven that he's worth more than a 3rd.
So I believe with those 2 teams you said, Broncos and Panthers, that they're holding out for the draft, obviously. They're hoping to get one of the 2 of the top 5 guys, those 2 teams are. And I think one of the teams that needs to slip in right now is someone like the Steelers or the Patriots, and go get him right now for
Grab
that
Darnold.
that 3rd round price before, say, the Panthers or the Broncos don't get him or don't get their quarterback in the draft. Then they're gonna be like, let's go with Sam Darnold. Let's go try to get him, and then the price goes up, right? So I think if you're one of those teams that doesn't have a bright future at the quarterback position, go spend that late 3rd round pick if that's what if that's what the Jets would take. You know, like I think it's a no-brainer. But you're right. I mean, the Broncos and Carolina, I think they're holding out for the draft. But if the draft doesn't work, they're going to be out there trying to buy something. You know?
I wonder if that's a day 2 trade, like during the 3rd round.
Yeah.
They trade Darnold for to one of those teams that didn't get if the Broncos at 9 go defense or whatever, then maybe they trade him like the next day or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I especially New England. We're going to talk about them next. Like, what's a 3rd round pick for a guy that has a potential to be a star quarterback? I don't know.
Who they have Cam and Stidham right now?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I don't understand that way. So next on the pod this weekend, we're going to do our we're going to start our draft rankings. And I think we're going to start with quarterbacks. So we're going to rank the quarterbacks in the draft, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
And I want to throw in Darnold into those rankings because that's what Daniel Jeremiah did. That he ranked his prospects and then he put a rankings with Sam Darnold in the class because Sam Darnold is pretty much in this class.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I kind of want to see like where I would put Darnold in relation to the other guys in this draft. But these rebuilding series is what we're calling. They get a lot shorter now that free agency's over, so you don't have to speculate as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You let Darnold just walk next year if you take Zach Wilson, like that's why I don't know. Like Darnold just seems like he's gonna be gone after if you don't do anything with him.
Yeah, I mean he's gone no matter what. Yeah, you're totally right. So why not get the value now? That's why I don't know. If it was reported this morning that I think
Reed said the same thing about Rosen.
Yeah.
Oh, Rosen getting traded?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
But I mean, yeah, go get the value for him. I mean, someone's gonna take a flyer on him now. I mean, just for the potential, you know.
Yeah.
What was he
24 years old.
Pick or second overall pick or one of the two? But
Third, yeah, he's 24 years old.
dude, him and Rosen, man, tough.
For sure.
Tough.
But Darnold started more than Rosen.
True.
Like Rosen was 1 year. Darnold's been. This is going to be his 4th year. He's already played 3. So.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, very. All right, New England, the Patriots. A flurry of free agent signings. We've already talked about all these free agent signings that they had this offseason. You know, obviously the 2 tight ends, Aguilar. They trade for Trent Brown. Jalen Mills. They got Kyle Van Noy back from the Dolphins. That was a weird thing. Like Van Noy signed a big deal with the Dolphins last year, and then they cut him and he goes right back to New England. They also bring back Cam Newton. That was a big story of this offseason for the Patriots, and it's just Cam and Stidham, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big call. Yeah, Cam and Stidham. Is that what they're rolling with in this? Like, I don't know. That just seems weird to me.
I mean, that's the one thing I think they need to address in the draft is the future. So is the Patriots one of those teams that trades up and tries to get one of the top 5, you know? And what does it say their cap is right now?
Ted said, "Go on, it's baseball season." Yeah, it is, Ted. We're watching the game on my laptop right now. Cap hit for Cam?
No. What is their overall cap number right now? After
they have $14 million.
Still, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, with all the signings, I mean they got plenty of offensive help. Defense, they're getting a lot of guys back. They also signed a lot of people, and so they're kind of in the same spot as the Niners, I would think. You know, like figured out the quarterback position because these 1-year flyers on Cam. I mean, hopefully he does well this year, but if he doesn't, then what do you do next year? Take another 1-year flyer on Cam or someone else? You know, like go figure it out. Go plan for your future.
Ted said, "Nice jerseys." Thanks, Ted.
Thank you, Ted.
We're repping our. Eli didn't get the memo.
Big game tonight. Big game.
Yeah, I left my.
Besides the whole year.
Yeah, this is. It's actually crazy that our teams are playing each
That's
other
kinda funny.
opening day. We're doing hot dogs for dinner tonight. We're going baseball.
Straight culture.
Yeah, for sure. That's gonna be fun. Can you air fry hot dogs?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I think that's what we.
Yeah.
What have you been doing? Have you just been doing it on the stove?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Stove, microwave, air fryer. Just throw them in there, you know?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, sometimes you boil them.
Like burst.
True, they don't burst when you boil.
15th overall pick for the Patriots. This has got to be the highest pick that Bills had in
Oh, God, yeah.
20 years. I mean, seriously, the 1 year that they didn't go to the playoffs, I think, I don't know, that might be the only time they've ever had a pick not in the 20s. So, 15, what do you guys think they're going to do at 15? Because this is one of the most confusing picks in the entire draft is what the Patriots are going to do.
I mean, just throwing it out there. I would smile Meteor, but I think the Niners are trying to throw a little smoke out there. But it was reported that the Niners wanted the 15th pick for Jimmy and the 41st pick, I think is what it was. I'm trying to think of the value it was. I'm trying to remember, but I think it was somewhere around there.
Jimmy and a pick 415?
Yes. And so, I mean, I would smile year to year for that, but Niners are sticking with they're not trading them. But, I mean, if Jimmy G's going to go anywhere, it's the Patriots or the football team. So,
yeah.
That's where I've heard the 15th pick. But if not, I would love to see them go. Man, I want to say corner, but I think they're going to hold on to Stephon, and they have J.C. Jackson this year, so I think they're okay this year on corner.
I almost feel like I don't know what kind of how this team likes to draft, but like it's weird. Like I don't see them just taking the best available, but like I feel like they signed so many people. Like they're not like I don't think they're relying on the draft. It seems
I would love to see him take Waddle at 15. I think if one of those receivers fall, even though Bill's not drafted receivers well at all, especially lately. I don't know. Their best receiver right now is Aguilar.
And then they have Kendrick Bourne.
That's right.
that's true. They could really.
And they have Jacoby Myers, who actually came on pretty late last year with Cam. So,
Do you
and
know,
they had 3 tight ends. So
when I forgot all the times. When I was looking for their looking on spot record of the Patriots, I went all the way down to find Jacoby Myers, and his cap hit is
$200,000.
it's $3,334.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
goodness, that's
It was like 850 or whatever, but it was like I don't know if they like restructured or whatever, but there was like a line through it, and it's like $3,000. That's his dead cap as well.
Really?
Yeah.
The only what's this team's future at quarterback? That's the biggest question, because I think if they don't address it in this draft, like that's what it confuses me in this whole thing.
I saw a mock draft yesterday that was trade back and get Kyle Trask. How do you feel about that?
Trade back and get Kyle Trask.
How?
I'm higher on Trask than I think a lot of people are.
You like Trask or Vermont?
Yes, I think Trask had a bad bowl game, and he didn't have Kyle Pitts in that game, and just plummeted down draft board.
Because he was pretty high. I remember him being pretty high.
It was like he and Mac were like right there next to each other, and then Mac won the national championship, goes up. Trask has a bad bowl game and didn't have Kyle Pitts and goes down. I don't think that's fair to judge those quarterbacks just on bowl season. But I don't know. I don't know if Kyle Trask is enough for them. I don't think he moves the needle or anything. I don't know. I really don't believe in Cam though either. That's my biggest problem. I think their best options at quarterback is Jimmy G or Darnold. That's kind of what we talked about earlier. I'd rather see them do that than draft the quarterback, because I don't think Bill wants to rebuild a new quarterback like that.
Now that I'm thinking about it, if one of those, if Elijah Vera-Tucker or one of the tackles slips at 15, I think offensive line is something that they could probably address after losing Joe Finney.
They got Trent Brown though.
They do have Trent Brown.
Yeah,
he's had a couple of shaky years, but he was really good with the Patriots before they traded him. So the report is Bill Belichick knows how to get Trent Brown to get it going. So,
but that's I do like that.
He knows how to.
Well, Trent Brown came into Raiders, so he was on the Patriots, had a very good year, and then Raiders signed him. He comes into training camp 40 pounds over what his expected weight was.
Jeez.
And so reports are that Bill Belichick gets into his butt a little bit and gets him to work out and stuff. So, but hopefully he's good for them. But yeah, that's personally that came to my mind. If they did need something, it'd be to redress that offensive line.
Have you seen Friday Night Lights?
Yes.
I've been watching that recently. I watched the first season. I told Eli he needs to watch this. I watched the first season a while ago, and then I started the second season, and I didn't like it. But now I restarted it, like kind of the back half of season 1. I just finished season 1 last night, so I'm gonna try watching it. I don't know why that.
I love that actor, the coach.
Yeah, Taylor.
Is that his name? Yeah.
That's his name in the show.
Yeah, I don't know who the actor is, but I love that actor. He's great.
That's such a good show. Texas high school football. Oh my gosh. Right now, is this a playoff team?
No.
I think low key the division makes it really hard for them.
That's what I was just
100%.
gonna say. Because the Bills they got first place in this division locked, and I think the Dolphins are really hot right now, or not really hot, but I think the Dolphins are a really solid team. I would take the Dolphins over the Patriots right now, and so unless somehow they get like that third spot in, or whatever, I think the Bills. Maybe the Dolphins make the playoffs.
Well, I just think the AFC, besides the Chiefs, is filled with a bunch of teams that are going to be like 10 to 12 win teams.
Yeah.
Which, Dolphins,
That's
Bills.
what the Dolphins were last year. Like, remember,
Yeah.
there was like a huge block of teams that all went like 11-5 or 10-6, and like they all had the same record. But I think it was like the Browns. Maybe there was one team out of like that block that actually made it. So like they have a lot of teams on the cusp, and I just don't see the Patriots like.
I think the Patriots could be in that group.
Yeah, they
But I
can
don't
make
know
that
if they
group,
get in.
but I don't think they could just make the jump past that group.
Yeah,
So
I
if
mean-
they're going to be in that group, I don't think they're going to be able to get through.
I honestly feel like with the way the AFC's going and how many good teams there is, I feel like the Bills are going to be the only team in the playoffs.
From this division?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised at all. I'm not a big Dolphins fan, but
I think they're going to go down. To be honest, I think
really,
I just don't believe in Tua, and I don't believe in
I don't
Jacoby Brissett being the guy that they bring in after him. Like I don't know. I feel like the Dolphins are going to regress from last year.
So, yeah, unclear about this team at quarterback and their future. We all don't believe they're playoff teams.
How do you guys feel about Bill? I mean, how many more years do you think this guy has? If they do bad this year, I
If
mean,
they
he's
do
got
bad,
to start
he's gone,
questioning.
right?
Yeah, I feel like he's got to start questioning his future too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. He's not staying for a rebuild. That's why they signed
No,
all these
100%,
people
100%.
this year. He's not staying for a rebuild. Yeah, I think why they brought back Cam is because they were like, Matthew.
Hey,
I think that's why they brought back Cam is because, like, they were like, he's not teaching a whole new quarterback this offense.
Draft day trade. Say something crazy happens. Mac Jones slips to the 7-8 slot.
Do you think they go get him?
Do you think the Patriots try to just go all out and get him? Because there has been reports that Bill likes him. So
Yeah, maybe. I could see Mac Jones slipping. I could see all this hype around him maybe being
yeah,
some
that's what I'm
smoke.
saying. Just crazy scenario here.
I don't know.
I could see Bill going up
Yeah.
and getting him though.
If he really likes him, for sure. You think there's a playoff? Patriots are they a playoff team for you? That's what we just asked.
I don't feel like they're that far off from the Dolphins if they get all their defensive pieces back. But I mean, yeah, I think that they're right on the cusp. But
Yeah.
they're by no means a lock.
Yeah.
It's gonna be them duking it out with the Dolphins.
That's what we're
If Cam is better than Tua and Brissett, I feel like they're probably gonna be better.
And then the conversation about the guys that are coming back from COVID almost isn't even a conversation anymore because I'm pretty sure 2 of them retired. I know Patrick Chung definitely retired.
Right.
And then you got Dante Hightower coming back.
That's about it.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, besides
What's
that
up
they
with Gilmore?
signed. Huh?
It's up to Gilmore.
Gilmore's playing. He's been
Okay.
playing.
He's just old.
Yeah, he's getting older. Like,
Yeah.
reports where they were
Wasn't
trying
the
to trade him. Yeah.
All right, Miami. Their biggest signing was Will Fuller, only a 1-year deal for $10 million. Jacoby Brissett, as we mentioned. They also signed Malcolm Brown, Matt Breida was the Bills, sorry. They did sign Malcolm Brown, though, which is, and Justin Coleman. Justin Coleman, I think, was not a bad signing for Miami to kind of bring in a nickel guy who was a hot free agent last year. Seahawks couldn't re-sign him, like we were going to pay for him. They also, Miami, we talked about this earlier, released Kyle Van Noy after signing him last year from the Patriots. Then they release him, and then the Patriots sign him back. Like, Bill Belichick is just smiling. The biggest question for Miami going into this offseason was what are they going to do at quarterback? What are they doing with Tua? It's clear that they believe in Tua. They would not have traded out of free if they didn't believe in Tua. So Tua is their guy. Jacoby Brissett is a fine backup option, but he's not Fitzpatrick. They clearly are saying Tua is the guy. What do they do at 6? I think that's the biggest question now for this offseason for the Dolphins is what do they do at 6? Because for me, it seems like they really like someone, and the more I look at it, it's Kyle Pitts to me.
I think so too.
100%. It was Jamar Chase for me at 6 for them. But now, like, I've been hearing a lot of hype about the Bengals and Joey Burrow saying, go get me Jamar Chase. Like, he's the guy I want. And I could definitely see Chase going 5 and then Pitts going 6 now.
And even if it's not Chase at 5, it'll be a lineman.
True. Very true.
So do you convert Pitts to a wide receiver, or do you do the 2 tight end? I mean, Gesicki's not bad.
No.
Yeah, I think you run 12 man.
Or you just I think you just go like Kyle Pitts is just so good
Yeah.
that we'll run 12. We'll put one of them in the slot sometimes.
Right.
I don't know.
That's pretty lethal, man.
Yeah,
I mean, if they
honestly.
got Pitts and Tua still can't do it, I feel so bad for Dolphins fans.
I think it came up. I don't know if it was one of our podcasts or live shows. Maybe we were just talking, but we talk about having 2 tight ends that are Pitts hasn't played yet, but he's probably close to starter quality already. Like he's just a freak. But having 2 pretty good tight ends, like seems kind of like unnecessary. But like if you're gonna have a pair of tight ends, like Gesicki and Pitts is not a bad duo to have.
They're both mismatch nightmares. I mean, you can't put a linebacker on them. They're
Yeah.
both too fast. And they're
Gesicki's
both
really
6'6".
underrated.
Yeah,
Gesicki's really underrated.
they're both 6'6". Like the dudes are just ginormous.
Well, it's weird to talk about back-to-back teams that are going to have two tight ends
Yeah,
right.
if they do take Pitts. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots, that's what they're running with.
Mhm.
The AFC East is gonna have more starting tight ends.
More fantasy relevant tight ends than the rest of the league.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's clear that they like someone. They did sign Will Fuller. You're right, and I like that signing. That's the weapons are there. That's the thing with this team is now it's Tua.
Yeah.
This is a huge year for Tua, and I've been saying I think I said this on a podcast a couple weeks ago. Their defense was like the most lucky turnover defense in all of football last year.
43 games in a row. with a
Right,
turnover.
and Xavier Howard led the league in interceptions, and he is not the best cornerback in the league. Like this team, their defense especially got really lucky with turnovers last year. So I'm a little shaky on this team. I don't know. I obviously don't fully believe in Tua either. So definitely the addition of these weapons I think help, but I'm not so sure what if you have now Parker, Will Fuller, hypothetically Pitts and Gesicki, and you can't throw the ball, then there's a problem there. And I don't know what they got to restart because Tua is not it if he can't do it this year.
No.
Mm.
We have anything more on Miami? Anything we want to touch there? Do you guys think they're a playoff team? I'm not buying them yet. I really like Flores too, and that kills me to kind of bash him. But I don't think I'm in on this team yet.
I only got the Bills making it.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing I just remembered is because the Dolphins still have they also have the 18th pick.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who do they like? They could still get I'm thinking. I don't know about 18, but I don't know what their next pick is. Next pick is the 36. I think they could really benefit from taking on the running backs. If they
Najee
snap.
Harris, yeah.
Just because I feel like the running back situation isn't horrible because they're not overpaying anyone. It's just kind of like a lot of young, fast guys on small deals, which sometimes works, but it's also nice to have an identity at running back. But
It might help for Najee or ETN to be in that kind of system too, where it's 3 or 4 running backs rotating in and out. He gets to do what he does best and gets to learn from those other running backs. I don't know. I don't know really else what they would do at 18, but
Right. Yeah, I mean, as far as it being a playoff team, the teams I look at, I compare the Patriots and the Dolphins to, as far as the wild card spot, are teams like the Chargers, the Browns,
Colts,
yeah,
Titans.
Colts. Yeah, and so those teams, and there's a few, I would probably take Dolphins over Chargers. And maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. That's hard to say.
I think everyone just likes the Chargers and Herbert because he's new.
Yeah.
But if that defense is healthy, the Chargers I think are a playoff team for me.
Yeah.
I have
So it's
Chargers
tough.
on. That's why I only have the Bills making it because I feel like the
Right.
Chargers are going to be at the 7 or 6.
Mm.
I think they made the amount of signings they needed to. I mean, I don't know where to talk about them, but they got O-line help. I mean, they have still
Yeah.
weapons on offense. And
Probably next week will be AFC East or AFC West,
Mhm.
and then the last week will be NFC West. Yeah, that we were talking about this before you got in, Matthew. There's a lot of teams that are going to be between 10 and 12 wins in the AFC,
Mm.
and just as there was last year, and it's going to be tough for them because the Browns, Ravens, Steelers, only one team wins that division again, so they're battling those two teams for a playoff spot. Yeah, it's going to be tough. All right, Buffalo. A really just literally the most mediocre offseason they could have possibly had. They did not do anything. They lost John Brown and signed Emmanuel Sanders. They extended Micah Hyde. They added Mitch Trubisky and Matt Breida, two of the most boring guys at their position possible. I don't know. They literally did nothing this offseason. They have the 30th pick, so they're going to add someone, but not someone great.
I like the Emmanuel Sanders signing just because Emmanuel Sanders will stay on the field for them. And John Brown had a lot of injury history last year and had a lot of problems for them. I felt but when John Brown was on the field, I think it helped Stephon Diggs a lot. So I do like the Emmanuel Sanders signing, but you're right. I mean, they didn't make any splash plays. They kind of just said, we're okay with what we have, and there you go. But, I don't know. I don't know what if you're part of the Bills fan base. I mean, what about their moves tells you, oh, okay, we're ready to take on the Chiefs now?
That's what I'm confused about. Is that it didn't seem like they were really close last year,
No.
and then they didn't do anything.
It may be like, I mean, I think Josh Allen is great, but like this was his first like this was a breakout year for him. So I wonder if like he just needs to kind of like he was really good, but I wonder if he was maybe just like good, but still a little bit too raw.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like
He
when
can get
they,
better.
like all this whole season, they're comparing like this season to his last season. Like his stats just like skyrocketed, and like I wonder if it was just like you can't go from being like crappy to just being like super like consistent, like really good. Like I wonder if this was just like, okay, now he knows his potential. Like let's.
I think Stephon Diggs helped that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that
That's-
with the
no,
addition of
100%.
Stephon Diggs it can't be measured because
Yeah.
the dude
Well,
just
yeah.
transformed what Josh Allen could do.
Adding a receiver, and then didn't he end the season like leading the league in receiving yards or receptions or something like
Yeah.
that? Like obviously that does make a impact.
I mean, Josh Allen needs a run game. I mean,
Yeah.
just like every quarterback they became one-dimensional at the end of the year, and then they couldn't hang with the Chiefs offensively, but they became one-dimensional. And I feel like they didn't really address the Matt Breida is talented, but he's never on the field.
He's gonna run 22
And,
miles an hour.
I
He ain't gonna
mean,
do much.
if Zach Moss can improve a ton, then that they
Their
need
O
that.
line too in the run game needs to
Yeah.
improve as well.
Yeah, not just the running back, obviously, but yeah, they just need to run the ball better against those teams.
Yeah.
They have 3 running backs on the roster, though, right? So do they
Yeah.
go draft one? I mean, I don't
That's the
see
thing
it.
is, I want to see them draft, but
I
like
don't
they
think they
literally
do.
because they
No.
drafted Moss and then drafted Singletary before that. Like drafting a running back is
Yeah, you made your bed with those guys.
100%.
yeah, like it's like I'd love to see him draft, but like the more I think about it, I'm just like it's just drafting a running back's not going to do.
Where do they pick? Were they 20? They're what?
They're
30.
30?
I mean, I can see him maybe in like the 3rd round or 4th round.
Yeah,
But
that's
who
what
do they
it-
go in the 30 spot? You go for the best lineman
You need a
available?
lineman. You need maybe like a second corner would be nice for them to grab. Any
30. I still don't even know who's going to be there.
No, exactly. I don't either. All right. The big question for the Bills, I think, has to be Josh Allen is the next big quarterback to get a deal. It's that quarterback. It'll be Lamar or Josh Allen will be the next one to get a deal. I guess or Baker. Is that draft class? They're the ones that are up, right?
Mhm.
We had that conversation about Baker a couple weeks ago. It's Lamar or Allen. They're going to get similar deals, I think. Probably. Where do we think Josh Allen's money? How much do we think he's going to get?
Spotrac has his calculated market value at like 42.
I'd say 45 is where my number
Reed said they need an edge rusher. Sorry, just to. Yeah, he's right.
Sure,
Anyway,
right,
He is right.
yeah.
He's right. Yeah.
Got to get to Mahomes. That's just
Yeah.
that should be their goal.
they did not have a good pass rush last year, so definitely edge rush. Yeah.
But yeah, like the 40 to 45 range, I think is.
Mahomes money. I think that's what he's
fair,
going to ask, and
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I think he's going to get it.
No, you can throw and you can run.
I think you'll get. I don't know if you'll get quite Mahomes money. I think he's gonna. I think he'll ask for like a 3-4 year deal, so he can get a new one when that TV deal comes, and then the cap gets even bigger.
Yeah.
I think it'll be around $40 million for like 3 or 4 years, because the TV money kicks in 2023.
Well, that's the question though. Do the Bills try to get him to sign that 10-year?
If he wants that 10 year, then he's gonna ask for the same. He's gonna ask for $50 million a year. Like he's gonna want the same amount that Mahomes did, and which rightfully so. Like if he's gonna ask to be locked up, or if they're gonna ask him to be locked up for
100%.
10 years, he's gonna want the guaranteed money. So
Man, I wonder what the Bills are thinking because either
the only problem is, like you said, he's had 1 year
Yeah.
where he's been elite, and if you want elite money, I think you have to be elite for a little more than 1 year.
I think they're gonna do great. I think he's gonna do great this season, but like he has to. I feel like he has to at least meet what he did last year if he wants that back. He'll still get paid. Like he'll still get paid no matter what. But if he really wants to get paid like close to Mahomes money, I think he has to replicate what he did last season, or at least.
100%. You can say the same thing for Baker. We had this whole
Right.
conversation about is Baker going to get the money. If they don't make the playoffs this year, then Baker's not getting that money.
No, that's the only
Ain't
reason.
no way.
That's the only argument he has
Yeah.
is that he went to the playoffs.
Ain't no way.
Yeah, that would be interesting. If I'm the Bills, even if I'm Josh Allen, if you bet on yourself, which is pretty clear that he has just over the past few years working hard on building up his accuracy, then this deal will not get done until next offseason. It's both teams have got to wait and see what happens.
Lamar's a tough one. Look, That we can
That's
talk
it,
about that
yeah.
for an hour.
Yeah.
How do you pay a running quarterback that much
How
money?
do you
for that?
pay
It's
a
just-
quarterback
it's
that
tough.
you're not
It's just
comfortable with?
I think out of anyone though, I'd pay Josh Allen. It's just right now, if I had to pay someone, I'd pay
Right.
Josh Allen. So I think the Bills are the best spot with this whole thing.
Yeah, and you try to give Lamar a. Ow! I just poked my eye.
So
Try to give Lamar a low guaranteed,
Yeah.
not very many years. Problem with not very many years is because I'm just thinking if you give him a 3-year deal, Lamar, and after those 3 years he's still healthy and still elite, then you're gonna have to pay him even more.
Even tougher decision.
Right. Then it's
Yeah.
like that's
Right.
because that's the problem with signing Lamar is you don't want to give him that money and then have him be hurt or can't run as well anymore. Right?
speed is quick.
So it's like
What if they gave him a 3-year, $120 million with
how much is that a year?
80 guaranteed? Would you be okay with that?
40 a year, 80 guaranteed,
What
3
if they
years.
just gave him a bunch of incentives for throwing?
True.
they're like you're making like your base salary.
4,000 yards.
Yeah, like
Oh, here's a
your
reduction.
base salary. Your base salary is like 25 million, but you can go up to 40 million if you throw like this much or
Like
whatever.
half of your game check is if you throw over like 180 yards.
He's calling
Yeah.
audibles every play. They're like read option right. He's like, hey, slant, RPO baby, RPO.
Just no slants, no slants.
I slant, you know. But I mean, how would you feel? 3-year, $120 million with 80 guaranteed. Would you like that better for the
Yeah,
Ravens,
I
or would you
think
like it
you're-
long
yeah.
term?
No, I think you're fine. I don't think you do a long term. I'd rather have that than.
But does
I
he
mean,
take that?
That's true.
Does he
Yeah.
take that? That's the problem. Yeah,
But I don't know where else he would go. Like their offense is literally catered to him.
that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, any team willing to go give Lincoln Riley the bag or something, anybody like that that's
True.
just willing to be like, all right, let's just change the offense. But yeah, I don't feel like there's a ton of existing coaches that really want to run that style of
Mhm.
offense right
Were you saying something?
No, I was just thinking, like, yeah, there's no way the Ravens would sign a huge deal for him because they know, like, there's probably not a lot of
Maybe
other
they
teams.
will.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but not. I bet not a lot of other teams are like gonna throw the house and try to get Lamar just because like their offense is so catered
Yeah.
towards him.
Yeah.
And so they're like, if he starts to slow down or whatever, like they don't want to have to keep running with him for like 5 more years.
All right. Tyler Lockett signs a big deal yesterday. I'm pretty sure it's 4 years, $69 million. Correct?
Around there.
now. Sounds great.
So,
4 years, $69.2 million extension. Puts him at, what did we say, the 9th highest paid receiver in football. Wow. That he got paid. He got paid. I was not expecting him to get this much, if I'm being completely honest. But good for him. He's 29 years old.
Mhm.
It's clear that he just has that connection with Russ that they were going to do whatever they can to keep him. And he's probably I know he and DK are good buddies. So I'm assuming they want to keep. I don't know. I think they just value him as he's like a key part of he's a core part of our franchise, and they're going to keep him.
Yeah.
This is
I
probably
mean,
the last contract he signs with us, long term at least.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
My only thing is that he just has to stay healthy. He's
Right.
been every year, the last like 2 years, he's been have little injuries here and there, ankle,
Mm-hmm.
like thigh injuries and stuff. He can stay on the field. He is electric. Like his ability to toe tap catches. I mean, I know Antonio Brown had like the Tony toe tap thing, but Tyler Lockett is amazing at that. And their connection with Russ, like you mentioned, I'm fine with it. I think they're a really good combination there, but it's a lot of money. And I couldn't even imagine, you mentioned like he's making more than Mike Evans. Like imagining Mike Evans with Russell Wilson and that connection, how that would be.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm fine with that. I think Tyler's a really good person in that locker room and keeping him around is
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
this like Evans, he's right above Evans, Woods, Brandon Cooks, Adam Thielen, Chris Godwin,
Brandon
Cooper
Cooks.
Kupp.
yeah.
But then also like Devontae Adams, 14.5. Stephon Diggs, 14.4. I mean, like he got a lot. He got a lot of money. And yeah, I'm with you, Matthew. If he doesn't stay healthy, this is not a good deal for the Seahawks.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like last year they kind of like that Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson thing kind of went away. Like I'm not saying like went away completely, but like they kind of went away from just Tyler Lockett, like the big plays. Like I felt like he was going to DK a lot, and that might be due to injury, like
I
you said.
think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and it's like you're gonna pay a guy all this money, like, and you're right. Like as a Niners fan, I hate the connection that Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett have, especially with those deep corner shots where you're right, he's just toe tapping. It's like how, like, what are you supposed to do as a defense? Like it's impossible to guard. But if you're gonna pay a guy that money, like I think they're better when they use DK and Tyler Lockett. It's not. It shouldn't be a tunnel vision to the biggest guy on the field either. 'Cause I think Tyler Lockett helps DK a lot.
I remember it was like kind of the season where it was like the Seahawks were kind of making the shift from let Russ cook to like, hey, our defense is actually working, but somehow Russ isn't cooking anymore. But there was like a weird, like it was like a turn almost where Tyler Lockett just like wasn't really getting like a lot of like targets or really anything, and like he was running like half effort routes. Like it looked like he was maybe injured, but they just wanted him as like a decoy.
Yeah.
But it was like that for a while, and
Yeah, he just had a really up and down season.
Yeah.
The big question I was thinking about after this trade was what happens with DK. And I'm looking, and he has this year and one more year left on his deal, so it's likely next offseason we see a deal done with DK. Isn't that generally how it goes? Like a year
Usually the year
before. Especially
Before
yeah,
next season.
with the guy you're gonna lock up, it's gonna be next season, next off season most likely when we get DK's new deal. How much do you guys think he gets? I mean, he's gonna be 24, 25 when he signs a new deal.
assuming this season he does just as good as he did this year, like he's gonna want at least this much, right?
Does he ask for more than D Hop?
I think he's probably a little above Julio money. I don't know about $27 million, but I mean, obviously, yeah, it depends on how he does. But I mean, I could see him asking for probably $24 million. I think Julio's at 22, and the D Hop's like 27. I think somewhere in there is pretty healthy. I think he should be satisfied with that if they offer multi-year for $24 million.
I would
Keep in
hope.
mind, he dropped like
Yeah,
3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
if he fixes that, like those numbers are going to be really good. And I feel like he's going to be justified.
And it's not even that he's not even in his prime.
No.
He's not even close to his prime. That's what I think he's going to say. Is he's going to be like, I'm just going to keep improving.
Right.
And
He's gonna be like, let me go to the Cardinals. Let me go to this other team.
They'll pay
Go
me.
with me.
Yeah.
Are the Seahawks going to be able to afford him?
that's a tough one. That's not going to be. You're paying Russ 40, whatever the cap is going to be.
and you just pay Lockett, and now you're going to
It's gonna be tough.
pay
It's gonna be
DK
tough,
as well.
but it's gonna go up. So that's good.
I mean, I assume like Bobby Wagner and KJ, those guys are probably gonna be out the door. By
Yeah.
that point.
Dwayne Brown will be
Yeah.
also, but we also have to sign Jamal Adams if we want to keep him.
Yeah, that's the next big one, I would say, before DK.
Let me see. Jamal, is this the last year of his deal? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamal, we're gonna sign. Have to sign him.
Yeah, we give up like 2 first-round picks. And
Yeah, if
it's
we don't sign
it's
him,
a rental then. It's like,
Yeah.
why? Why would you ever?
we
do
don't
that?
re-sign him. That's the dumbest
That'd
trade.
be
ever.
tough.
Those forks are coming out.
But if we do re-sign him, then I think it's a really good trade. Like I think that trade. Something happened to your laptop.
No, it's
Okay.
It's not affecting you. So updating.
All right. Final four is set. I don't have anything too much to say about. Like it's Baylor, Houston, and then Gonzaga, UCLA. I'm not super like hyped.
Yeah.
For those matchups, I think we all hope it's Baylor, Gonzaga, because that's the matchup we all want. Like that's the matchup everyone wants to see.
I mean, Houston's kind of surprising. Just what they've been doing and the kind of hype around them now. It's kind of crazy. I hope it's Baylor Gonzaga. And I think Gonzaga's going to blow out UCLA. That's sad to say, but good for UCLA though. I mean, what a run. I mean, but I do think Gonzaga's going to.
I don't think UCLA can keep up with Gonzaga if Gonzaga just didn't play defense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they can score that well. So I agree. I think Gonzaga can score 80 with their eyes closed, and I don't think UCLA can score 80 if there was an extra 20 minutes in the game. I mean, they barely got 50 against Michigan.
Yeah.
So
I do think that Baylor Houston game's going to be good though. I think that's going to be a great game.
yeah, Houston plays really good defense. They're a really good team. They're underrated for sure. But I mean, Gonzaga Houston just wouldn't be as juicy as Gonzaga Baylor.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do we have? Baseball? I don't know what
Yeah,
else.
baseball.
Baseball starts today. That's all I was gonna say about it, though. Like,
Yeah.
we got the Mariners Giants later.
Watching Garrett Cole paint outside low corner.
Yeah.
with
What's the score of that
98
game?
mile-an-hour
I'm watching
fastball.
it
It's just
right now.
ridiculous, dude.
2-2, bottom 7. 1 out. Yankees have the bases loaded. Aaron Judge is up to bat.
Awesome.
Did you see that the Nationals Mets game got canceled?
I think the Red Sox game. got canceled.
Red Sox, that game got rained out, but then the Mets Nationals game was like a COVID thing, which sucks. First game of the year to have a COVID issue.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
And then the Tigers game, I know I talked to you guys about that. Miguel Cabrera hits a home run in the snow and then slides into second base because he didn't know where the ball went. That was funny. That's crazy. Now it was sunny there now.
I wonder what the first base coach was doing. Was he like, nice, like good hit, or was he just like, go, go, go? And Miguel's just running, Like, I wonder, like, did he not see it either? Like,
Oh, Reed said, ouch, Judge. I don't know what happened. I'm behind. Did he?
get hit?
Oh, he grounded out, I think.
Oh, tough.
Hold on. Let's see. Hold on.
Wait for it.
Yeah, he grounded out. Bases loaded. Into a double play.
Oh, no.
Oh, with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
That is tough.
He's had a terrible day.
Cowboys.
Well, man, he was like 0 for 3 as well.
He's had a terrible couple years. After his rookie year,
Judge,
Judge has
yeah.
not been the same.
Yeah.
Doubled him up. Yep. That's crazy.
He went and got veneers this offseason, so maybe that'll switch things up for him,
Yeah, there you go.
More confident about his look.
Mm-hmm. All right, what else do we have? Anything? I'm looking. Okay, so here's our upcoming schedule. We're gonna do 2 episodes of the pod this week. We'll do a championship preview for March Madness on Sunday because the game Final Fours will be Saturday. So Sunday night we'll do a preview of the championship game.
When is that, Monday?
Yeah. So that'll be out before the championship game. Matthew has an MLB season preview on Sunday's episode or Monday's episode. If there's any NFL news, we'll get to that, and then we're going to start our draft rankings, and we'll start with quarterbacks. So that could be a long. We could probably discuss our top quarterbacks, and like we said before, we'll add Darnold in there too. Maybe we'll do a separate rankings with Darnold, but so we'll start. We'll start that.
I hate to break our hearts, but Monday we'll probably miss that championship game, huh?
Yeah.
Tough.
Well,
What time does it start?
I think it starts probably the same time our game starts.
We got 4:30
We're gonna
and
take
6.
it first.
We have
half.
4:30 and
We'll
6.
probably miss the first half,
Okay.
at least. The championship game.
Starts 7 p.m.
Our time.
Apparently.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
miss
Never
the
mind.
first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
How long is Kyle Lewis out?
At least in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yikes. Reed just asked in the chat. That's why I asked. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying we're gonna miss that, but
If
We're
we
not.
win,
yeah, true.
I'm pessimistic now.
We're playing
about,
Fiji. We're okay.
That's true. But then if we win, we play an undefeated team.
Yeah.
So, and then I think on Thursday we'll do an episode, or Wednesday night, maybe. I don't know, but we'll do a March Madness championship recap, and then a Masters preview with Ty. I think, or do we just want to double them up on Sunday? We don't have 2 interviews.
Be a long.
That'll be a long pod. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I don't know. I think it'd be easier if we just split them up.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the players to watch on the Giants, Brandon?
Yashevsky's our up and coming guy. He had a great year before the COVID year, I want to say, and he had a really good COVID half season. He's a stud. Donovan Solano's he's our third baseman. He's been pretty dang good. The pitching staff is what I'm worried about. I mean, Cueto's coming back off of Tommy John.
He's still playing.
Yes, he's coming back off of Tommy John, so who knows how he's going to be. I think we have Kevin Godwin going tonight. That was pretty hard, but it's going to be a rough season. It's, we had our golden years between 2010 and 2014, and then since then it's been okay, but like Buster Posey's back this year, but I don't know what he's going to do. The dude's like brittle. He's just old. Who's the Matthew? Who's the young guy that you said you were excited about? I'm trying to remember what
For
his
the
name
Mariners?
is. No, for the Giants. Maybe it's TJ that said it, but we have a young prospect we were going to bring up and they brought up. I can't remember his name, but They're pretty excited about
Did they
him.
bring up Joey Bart?
And then Joey Bart's going to be our starting catcher. Yeah, he should be our starting catcher or first base, one of the two. But besides that, I mean, it's going to be a pretty sucky year.
I don't know. It'll be fun tonight. We'll have
I'm
some hope.
super hyped, yeah.
I hope it's not a blowout. That's what I'm hoping either
Yeah,
one of us
okay.
doesn't get blown out because then we're just gonna be like, well,
It was fun.
cool, fun to watch. What are you saying?
I'm not going to be too upset.
If the Mariners blow out the Giants, I will not be upset. If we get
We
blown
get blown
out,
out.
then
I'd be like, there's always tomorrow.
I will walk downstairs in fourth. I don't care.
See, if the Giants win longevity, I just don't have any hope with the Padres and Dodgers in our division. So it's kind of what are you gonna do?
So then, what's our plan for spring break? What are we gonna do? I want to do a mock draft pod with. I don't know. We were talking about the format of that with our last pod because we'll be in Bothell with Cole, Reed, Mitch, Anthony, possibly. Like, do we want to? I don't know. I'm a little nervous of doing that pod on the 16th-ish. Like that was a tentative date because there's a lot that could change even in like a couple weeks of the draft.
Mm.
But I don't know. I was just thinking we just do a mega spring or NFL draft pod, and we just go through each pick and like talk about what we think the team should do there rather than what we did last year with the mock draft format.
Teams, yeah.
Because I don't want to give each person a team and tell them like
It's a cluster.
Yeah.
that just seems like that'd be too confusing. So yeah, I think that'll be a mock draft pod. And then we got a interview lined up for spring break. I'm not going to give away who because I'm not. I want to make sure it's 100% before it happens. But I think it'll be like one of our bigger. At least it'll be my favorite guest that we've had on the podcast. Not to.
All the other
I
guys.
think you'll get some retweets. Still get some retweets.
Yeah, I'm just it's the guest I'm most excited to interview because I did when we first started the pod, me and Eli, and I had the idea for the pod. I wrote down a list of like 6 or 7 people that like were realistic to get on the pod, but I would be really really excited for. And this guy's on the list. So he's been on the list. A guy that I really wanted to interview, and I think we got it lined up when we're in Bothell for spring break. So that's a pretty big hint. If you we didn't get it lined up in Boise, got lined up in Bothell. But yeah, I'll tweet out like if we get it, if it's done, I'll tweet out Instagram picture of it with like the little eyeball emojis just to hype people up. Let me see, who else do I have? I have one of the other guys on the list is Hank Bachmeyer. He was also on the list. I think
He's on the list.
Is there a certain punter that's on the list or no?
he is on the list.
On the
Yes,
list.
there's a couple others that are like semi-realistic because I didn't want to just put like Tom Brady.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
Drafted by the Seahawks.
LeBron. Like I'm not gonna put, but there's a couple that I like. Like okay, I think if I asked Brandon Hawkins, Brandon, if you're listening, I'm just saying. Like I think if I really like asked him, I think he could get Hank for us. I think he might be able to do that.
The question is,
But I don't want to take advantage. I don't want to be like, hey,
Please.
yeah,
what if he gets beat out in QB competition?
that would suck.
That'd be
That's the thing.
we interviewed the second string quarterback for that Boise State.
Hey, we still like Hank.
I
We
love
love
him.
Hank.
I
We
love
love Hank.
There's also another interview
Hank
that
Fries.
we might have lined up in the month of April. That is a coach of a college football team, a head coach. Have I told you guys about this?
Except
Nick Saban is coming on the podcast.
I'm just kidding. Except for the shed. April 2021.
Have I told you guys about that college coach?
So the coach that just left Boise State and went to Auburn.
No, that would be sick. So the guy that I've been emailing, well, I've emailed once back and forth, and a DM with Hugh Freeze. the coach of the Liberty Flames, former Ole Miss Rebels football head coach. That'd be pretty sick if we got him on the pod. Only be about 15 minutes, but yeah, that might be.
We'll take 5. Are you kidding?
I take
1.
I take a cameo.
Give me
greeting,
one
you know,
question.
like,
Just have him
cameos-
say Game Chat podcast. That's all.
Yeah, like this, I don't know what it's called, but like you can pay people and it's like some celebrity and it's like
Cameo.
happy
Yeah.
birthday,
Yeah.
Eli, or whatever. Yeah, we'll just get this guy and be like, welcome to the Game
It's,
Chat
yeah,
podcast.
it's Hugh Freeze.
She said typically coach can squeeze in about 15 minutes for an interview.
I really want to see the whole.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is a assistant.
Is Mulligan's Hannah? Or-
No, that's his assistant.
Okay.
I think it's his daughter. That's her assistant.
Oh, that's cool.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah, what a lifetime job that is. Sign me up. Are you kidding me?
So,
Until you get retired.
but that was in March, and she said he won't be available till April because they're in spring ball.
Well, you say we're available.
That's what I said. I said,
We're
Name the
available
time.
you said, give me any. I said,
24/7,
How far do I have to go? What is it?
52 weeks in a year, 12 months.
that'd be a pretty sick interview.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a special guest lined up over spring break. And I'm trying to think what else. Anything else? I don't know. I'm just stalling. We have 7 minutes left. We can end the show early.
There was one thing I wanted to talk about when we were talking about the rebuild teams. I don't really rebuild, I guess, but the AFC East. And I didn't want to bring it up because it wasn't super serious. But the Dolphins are one of those teams where they're probably not going to be great in the regular season, but on Madden they're going to be a nightmare to face just because they have Byron Jones and Xavier Howard.
Really?
In Madden, the formula for a CPU team to just be amazing is to have like 1-star corner.
Yeah.
And Byron Jones and Xavier Howard both have pretty high ratings on Madden. So
That'll be fun.
corners are like the OP position for the CPUs.
I do have something to bring up. I'm not a big Dan Orlovsky guy. Did you guys see him have to eat his words yesterday?
No.
So he came out and on a podcast, kind of just spitting words out, just talking out his butt. He was like, "Yeah, Justin Fields, like his work ethic is being questioned, and people don't know if he really wants to be that star guy, and all this, and like people like went after him, went at his neck, right?
Right.
And so he puts out a video. I think it was like last night or this morning, and he was like, "I interviewed 2 different people." Is it April Fool's?
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
George Kittle.
And he put out a video this morning, and it was like, I talked to Ohio State's offensive something, and he was like, Justin Fields has a great work ethic and all this stuff, but it was like Dan Orlovsky, like getting pretty much exposed on social media, and he had to like track back. But I hate Dan Orlovsky. It was just fun to see him like get just targeted by everybody. He's like, where did you get this information? Because he didn't give any sources or anything. It was like pretty much I was talking out my butt.
Did you guys see that Fields interview after his pro day? And they were the woman was like, so like, what do you say about like a lot of people are seeing like Mac Jones like rise up in the draft rankings? Like, what do you think? And he goes, it's like if a team skips out on me or whatever, he's like, that's their decision. That's what they gotta live with. But I think I'm the best quarterback in the draft, and he blatantly just said, I think I'm the best quarterback in the draft.
I mean, if you don't say that, I'm concerned.
Kyle
That's
Pitts,
true. Be like,
Kyle
I'm
Pitts
the
said I'll be
second best.
ever
He's like
today.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is a lot better than me. So it's like, but
What did Kyle Pitts say?
Kyle Pitts, I'm going to be the best ever today. So I'm literally going to be the best football player ever.
I would hope you would say that.
No,
Yeah.
so you can't really blame them. If they don't, then everybody's going to be like, well, does he really want to be great? It's like there's bring us all the stupid questions.
Josh Rosen thought he was the best quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, how much you buy into you?
All right. Should we wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
Anything more?
Is it still 2-2?
Yeah.
The Yankees big are doing terrible today.
So then that's always the Yankees.
Strikeout or home run.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure LeMahieu's like over 3 as well. And Stanton's definitely over 3.
Gary hit a bomb.
And Gary had a bomb, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was their only runs. Was
Yeah.
his home run. All right. We'll see you guys on Monday morning. Pod will be out. And, yeah, that's all we got. Later.
Bye, YouTube.